Hello everybody, how have you been? I have been noticeably absent from the shop now for, I guess, getting close to 3 months. Well, when I say noticeably absent from the shop, I mean from YouTube. I have been in the shop and I have been doing a number of projects. I've been sharing them over on my Patreon, but I haven't been making pin videos. And I want to talk a little bit about why, and I've been trying to figure out what I want to do with the channel, okay? Channel's a little over 10 years old, and it steadily climbed for probably about the first 9 years, 8 years, 9 years. I had a steady climb. Then we hit COVID, and right at the beginning of COVID, the channel did strong. I started making a bunch more videos, getting them out there, and it was doing well. Then the channel started to kind of peak and it started to kind of drop. And what I'm seeing now is the channel, it's just dropping like a rock. And I don't know what it is. Maybe the maker idea is kind of falling by the wayside. People are not so much interested in making anymore. They're finding other things they're interested in. Maybe it has something to do with a shorter attention span because people are really enjoying the shorts. Unfortunately, I'm guilty of enjoying them myself, and I try to make myself stop and focus on videos, because I want to help people who are making videos. So honestly, I don't know what I'm going to do going forward. I'm not just going to shut the channel down, but I don't think I'm going to make videos as aggressively as I have in the past. To give you kind of an example, a video that would have gotten in a week 4,000 to 5,000 hits in the past is now lucky to break about 600, maybe 800. So the interest isn't there. And even though you want to say it's not all about money, you have to get some sort of return for your investment. And my investment is time. To make a video, it may look quite simple, but there is a lot of time involved. What you see in the final video, I'll say something and, I'll screw up a word. So I'll re-say it, or I'll call apart the wrong thing. So I'll re-say it. So you do the same scene, speaking the same part multiple times. That takes time. You set the camera up, you move the camera around, you've got to edit the video. You all know what I'm talking about. It takes a lot to put together a video. A 12-minute video is probably, about an hour's worth of video and about 2 hours worth of setup, preparation, redoing it, and then on the back end, editing the video and getting it ready for YouTube. And at the end of the month, you look back and you might be lucky to make $3, $4 on that video. And it's kind of like, wow, you know what? Is 3, 4 hours of my time really only worth $3? That's 75 cents an hour. I mean, maybe when I was a kid, that was a pretty good wage, but now, my time is worth a little more. So I took a little break from pin turning for a while just to kind of roll this around in my head. And I've been working on a lot of other projects, and maybe what I'll do here in a minute is I'll flip the camera around and show you some of the stuff I'm working on, and hopefully you'll find some interest in that. I'm not going away completely, but I am going to slow down a little bit. If things start to pick back up, I'll start to pick back up. I've got plenty of projects in the shop, pin-wise, that are started. I've been doing a lot of work with the bespoke pins. I've kind of, artisan pins, we'll call them, whatever. I've kind of stepped aside because Christmas kept me pretty busy. So let's talk about some of the projects that I've been working on. For Christmas, my son has gotten into collecting vinyl albums. This is one of my older boys. He's been out of the house for a number of years. He got his own career, got his own life, lives up in Michigan, and he got into collecting vinyl, which I love vinyl. You guys know that. I used to show some stuff on What You Doing. So I made him some vinyl racks, stuff that he can mount to the wall and put his vinyl on. There are some that he's paid quite a bit for, collectible ones, or there are some that he really likes to listen to often, so he wanted to have them out and easily accessible so he could kind of show them instead of shoving them into a box. So I made him a couple of really nice vinyl racks, and I didn't want screw holes to show, so I made them with a French cleat. And then I explained to him how he could mount them. That way, if he moves from apartment to apartment or house to house, you can put holes in the cleat, and then you just hang the shelf on it. And I wanted the shelf to be extremely minimalistic. I didn't want you to see the shelf at all. because the idea is to show off the record. So that was fun. He really loved it. And I explained to him how to install it and gave him a countersink bit so that he could get the heads of the screws, behind the behind the wood, so everything's set nicely. So that was fun. I also made some really nice cutting boards. That same son, when I went up to visit him this summer, he is into smoking meat, right? And he made this brisket. I mean, this was a monster brisket he got from Costco, and he doctored it up and he smoked it for a day. It was fantastic. But when he brought it in the house, he took it out of the tray that he brought it in and put it on his cutting board. And his cutting board was this little old tiny thing, about a ½ inch thick, probably a Walmart cutting board. And it gave me an idea. I got all this wood up here. Let's build my son a cutting board. So I built him an 1.5 or 1.75 inch thick by massive cutting board. Well, my wife saw it and said, "Hey, what about the other boys?" So I got 2 other adult sons, one adult son and one adult son-in-law, who both like to smoke meat and cook. So I ended up making cutting boards for them. And my wife said, "Hey, I need something for my girlfriend." We do a gift exchange. And every time we go to craft shows, she looks at the cutting boards, but she won't buy them because, they're kind of pricey. So I made a cutting board for my wife's girlfriend. So all of this going on. I made some ornaments for my wife. I repaired a few Christmas things we had, and it's actually behind the camera. Maybe I'll show it when I flash around. My wife has this Santa salt and pepper shaker that belonged to her mother, and then it belonged to her grandmother. So it is a 1,000% sentimental thing. Probably not worth a lot of money, but this year she dropped the bucket that had all of this type of stuff in it, and even though it was wrapped, it broke. So I repaired it, I repainted it, and now I'm putting a shiny finish on it. After Christmas, I got involved in a few things. I am making an anniversary gift for my wife and I, 25th anniversary this year. Pretty excited about that. And I have a swing. Now, you guys who've been with me for a long time, whenever the camera pops up and you see the loft, right over here, there's been the back of a swing. And you might have wondered what it was. It looks like some slats. That is a swing that my dad made for my wife and I about 22, 23 years ago. I can't pinpoint the exact time. And it's hung on the front porch of 3 of our last 5 houses. And we would like to hang it at this house, but because it hung outside, it got extremely weathered, extremely worn, and was in desperate need of repair. So I have taken it apart and I've been slowly repairing the pieces, sanding them to get them ready to finish, gluing pieces back together. Making a pattern because, I may make a couple of these swings. These would make really nice gifts next year. So we'll see how that goes if I get around to that. And what else have I been working on? Oh, you might notice this little red toolbox back in the background. Caught that at a resale shop for 40 bucks. Got a few scratches on it, nothing major, great shape, even had the keys with it. I'll show you that here in a minute. It's loaded with all of my lathe tools. What else has been going on in the shop? Oh, I have been posting more. I sold a bunch of my video pins. So I went and dug out the other group of video pins. I think I've got just about all of them together. I'm posting them on Etsy and I'm selling them. It's just something where I've got so many pins, they've been in a display case, and I thought, why in the world am I keeping these? I'm going to pass away and my kids are going to say, "Oh, look, pins," and they're going to give them away or throw them away or whatever. So I thought, let's sell them. There have been a lot of people over the years who've contacted me and said, "Hey, I'd love to have one of your pins." Well, if you ever wanted one of my pins, you should go check out Etsy. I'll put a link in the description of this video, because maybe one of your favorite video pins could still be out there and still be available. Now I've got about 30 more to post. I've got the photos taken, but I'm slowly putting a few up each evening. So check back often and maybe you'll find one you like. I also have the blanks that I had on Etsy before. What I'm going to do with those is group them up, 3, 4, 5 blanks at a time, and I'm going to sell them in bulk because I'm not going to make pens out of them, and I just need to move them. So I'm going to lower the prices on them a little bit on the blanks and bulk them up so you'll get multiple blanks in a set, and those will be available soon. I'm going to get the pens out first. I'll come back and do an announcement on that because I'm thinking about having a kind of a little sale once I get everything up there, and I'll offer a coupon code here for anyone who's interested. So I'll keep you posted on that. What else has gone on in the shop? Let's see. I think that's the big stuff. I think that covers the big stuff. So why don't I turn the camera around and give you a quick shop tour, because some things have changed in the shop, and we'll kind of go from there. But don't think I'm gone. I will be back, just not as frequently. Maybe a video a month. I don't know. It just depends on how things are going. I've actually got a video in the works right now. I built a section for a bespoke pen for my Patreon folks, and I took photos and put really nice descriptions under the photos so that it had all the information. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show those photos, and I'm going to voice over on the video. So I'm kind of working on that. First time I've ever tried it. So keep an eye out for that. Don't know how soon it'll hit. That is, wow. I sold my planer. It is actually out in the big garage. My brother-in-law wants it, so he's coming to get that, which freed up a ton of space over here next to the DeWalt saw. And that allowed me to rearrange the shop, which is what I think I'll show you right now. Coming into the shop, excuse that on the floor. Reason why I've got that stretched out, I know it's a trip hazard, but this is kind of my paint booth. I talked about an ornament for my wife. There's the salt and pepper shaker that I am putting a finish on, and those are a couple of ornaments. They were some spares. I already gave her the ornament for Christmas. Those were a couple of extras that I made, and I thought I'd go ahead and just finish them for her and give them to her. They're just something a little simple that I worked on. And there's the salt and pepper shaker. It's about ready for another coat of finish. So I use the vacuum, and you can see the overspray sucking into the vacuum. Notice how it kind of moves around like that on the backdrop. So it kind of keeps it from going all over the shop, makes it a little more bearable in here. Let me spin around. I've added a nice little whiteboard. I don't know if I've shown that before or not. I've got a few project ideas on there. I cleaned up my toolbox. Take a look at how neat that is. In the past, it's just been stacked. The drawers are in pretty good shape. They need a little cleaning. Planer is in the same spot it's always been. This is a little better than it has been. I have, this is for my Intarsia project I'm working on for the anniversary. I kind of cleaned this off. Those are, of course, the wheels to my sanding table. I took them off so that I could more easily sand the swing parts. Here are some of the patterns for my swing. You'll see another one here in a minute. Bunch of pins I pulled to get rid of. Got my DeWalt here. This is where the jointer used to set, and I have put my metal lathe here. There's easy access to power right there. Boxes on the floor. I cut these and taped them up. I am working next to clean the loft. I've got the shop relatively clean, and I'm working next to clean the loft, and I'm going to put blanks in there so that I can look at the ends of them and see the blanks so I know what I've got. It's going to help me organize, so I made those. Got the tabletop off of my sander because I've been using it. Maker cart has been cleaned up quite a bit. You can see the Intarsia project right there. It's in process. These are projects I need to finish. They may or may not be videos. Got my metal detecting gear back there. Here's something I'm really proud of. This is my new toolbox, and I have got it set up and ready to go for everything turning related. Look at that. This is my bespoke drawer. So if you have a tool that is associated with bespoke, good possibility everything you need is right there in the drawer. And I wanted that easy accessibility. There are just some tools there. And of course, I was able to get my vise in here, my buffing wheel. This little table is where my red lathe used to set, my turn crafter. And I've taken it off the table for the time being. The turn crafter's on the floor. Down here, you'll notice this is another pattern piece. I had to extend it because I'm going to do a half lap instead of a biscuit. When my dad built it, he used biscuits, and I'm not a fan of those. That's a couple of patterns that he sent me. Moved my drill press over here. Love it, right behind the lathe. My lathe table's been cleaned off. Just a few things on there. I'll redo that. I still need to work on the backdrop and get some more stuff hanging. Nothing really changed on this side of the shop. Got the bin for my dust collector. There's some of the pieces. These are all pieces to the swing. You can see I've been sanding them down. It's made of redwood. It's absolutely gorgeous. Had to repair a couple of those. No real change to the lathe table. I've got the miter saw back. My dad borrowed it for a while, but it's back and under the lathe table. Coming around here, of course, had my photo booth out where I've been photographing pins and soon blanks. I've been using the sanding table quite a bit for all of the slats and everything associated with the swing because it makes it so simple. Plus, it has dust collection, so my shop doesn't get full of dust. That's hardware from the swing. Over here, nothing really changed. Still got the AC, still got the vac and the dust deputy that feeds the vac. Nothing's really changed over here. Still have my spindle sander, disc sander, bandsaw. My router is still back here. That is a box of blanks that are going to get grouped up and sold. We talked about that. And then, of course, my table saw. And these are the seat pieces for the swing. And you can see the biscuits in the back. Basically, in order to make this one work, the future patterns, I redesigned them so we'll half lap the back and the seat brace, and then we'll dowel them. I'll pin them and dowel them together to give them more stability, because what happened over the years, these biscuits, they just sort of, not really dissolved, but just sort of gave way. However, I am going to have to use biscuits to fix this swing because I don't have the extra wood to half lap it. So I'm going to cut those off flat. I have the biscuit tool, and I'll recut the biscuits. And I don't know if you saw them or not, but over on the backside where the pieces of the swing are, there was a little bag of biscuits, and I'll re-biscuit these just to get the swing working for me for this summer so we can use it. And here is an arm brace that I've done some repair on, and a little repair on this. This is the bottom of the arm brace. We'll have it all fixed up here in no time. And we are back around to Santa. I hope you enjoyed that quick little shop tour. Not a lot has changed. I've moved a few things around. I am extremely happy with my new shop layout, with the exception of the hose that's running across the floor, which will disappear here shortly when I finish putting a finish on Santa. I have a ton of room in the middle of the shop to move. And especially this area back here for the lathe, all the lathe tools here. I got the drill press there, which it used to be over on this wall. It's so convenient when I'm working. This lathe area is super, super convenient for me. One thing that I have on my list that I want to do is up in the loft, I have, it's probably about 4 foot length of books, pattern books, tool books, all types of wonderful books. I want to bring them down, and over here behind the metal lathe, I want to put a couple of shelves, maybe 3 foot shelves or whatever, so that I can put all of my books down here, because I've been going to those books and looking for ideas. And if the books are up there, it's a pain to get to them. I got all the junk up there, and you got to fight through it. And so you just don't do it. But getting them down here will make it a little better. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I just want to come back and talk with you guys and share a little bit and let you know that I'm still here. I'm not going to go away. I'm just not going to be the same as I was. We're gonna slow it down a little bit, and I won't do every pin that I make. I won't do a video on, I'll be a lot more selective. Hopefully I can, do one every now and then and just keep you guys going. And I may put a few other projects out here. Right now, all of the projects that I talked about at the beginning of the video, none of them were really filmed. And I did that for a reason. I needed the time just to think, right, and decide. And pin shows this year. I am so far going to only one show, and that's the one in March up in Virginia. I committed to that. I did not commit to any other shows, so I don't know if I'm going to make any pin shows this year. That's primarily due to financial reasons. That's another reason why I'm trying to get the Etsy store moving to make a little money, because as you know, I've spoke about in the past, I do not use any of the family budget for tools, supplies, travel, pin shows, anything. Everything associated with this shop comes from what this shop makes. And that used to be about 90% YouTube. And now YouTube is so low on the revenue scale that it's not really worth it anymore. So and I don't have the additional disposable income, so I'm having to really slow down. So if things pick up on the Etsy store or YouTube picks back up, that will definitely change because I do love the shows. I will still help promote them. If the folks involved in the shows want to contact me and discuss that, I'll be happy to share whatever information they'd like on the channel so you're all aware of it. But if you're going to be available for MAP up in March up in Virginia, let me know and I'll see you there. That's pretty much it for me, guys. So hey, Happy New Year. Hope you guys had a wonderful holiday. I'll see you again real soon. And remember, I want you to know that you are always welcome in my shop. Hey, go get your t-shirts that say that. I'll put a link to Redbubble down below. I'm selling t-shirts and they give the old, you're always welcome in my shop. And then there's another one that's got just my logo on it. And there's a third one that's got just a fun little saying. If I can remember, I think it says I spend 90% of my money on pin kits and exotic woods. The rest I waste. Think about that. Take care, everybody. Have a great evening. I did not show this in the video, but I have a small metal lathe. Everything is here with the exception of a bolt that goes in the tailstock. You can get that at Little Machine Shop or you can get it on eBay. I'd like to sell this lathe, but I don't want to ship it. Oh, I want to let you know about the motor. The motor is ancient. Look at the plug on this thing. And if you look inside the motor, you can see that the casing on the wire in many places has just rotted off. It's so old. So I would not use that, but I still have it. I don't know if it's fixable or not, so I'll leave it with the lathe. I want to sell this, but I will not ship it. It weighs a ton. So if you are anywhere near Evansville, Indiana, or willing to drive to Evansville, Indiana, I'd love to sell you this lathe or potentially trade. If you've got something good, I'm always open to a good trade. So if you're interested, let me know and maybe we can work something out.